Hey everyone, it's Lynnea for LDRS Creative, and I have an easy peasy gatefold card to share with you today. I'm using the Delicate Stems 6x6 stamps and their coordinating layering stencils, and then I'll also be bringing in a letterpress sentiment later on. Let's go ahead and start by stamping this large flower. So what's in my stamping platform right now is a full A2 card front, so it measures 4¼ by 5½, so you can see how large this flower is. I'm stamping it with some Raven hybrid ink, and I'm working quickly so that I can add some clear embossing powder to my stamped image. This is going to seal and trap that black ink under the embossing so that I can go ahead and do some ink blending and not have to worry about smearing that black ink. Here are the Delicate Stems layering stencils. It's a 3-set stencil set, and so there are 2 layers for the flowers and then 1 for the leaves. I'm starting off with a light blue ink. This is Marina Madness, and covering that whole first stencil. I replaced the first stencil with the second, and I'm coming in with Bali Blue, which is a darker, more traditional blue. And then the third stencil layer is for the flower, and I'm using 2 greens on this one layer, starting with the whole thing with a light green, and then just bringing in some dark green to create some shadows to kind of match the shadows on the flowers. Now once I have all this ink blending done, I'm going to take my panel over to my paper trimmer, and I'm going to trim equal amounts off of each side until I have a panel that measures 4 inches by 5¼ So what I'm doing is just kind of trimming down this A2 panel a little bit, but I want to keep this flower centered, so I'm trimming off about 1/8 of an inch from each side. Once I get my panel down to 4 inches wide, I'm going to chop it right in half at 2 inches. Don't worry about cutting that flower in half. We're going to be creating gatefold cards, so this is all going to come together. So here's what I have so far. My panel that's chopped in half right down the middle. And I'm going to go ahead and grab a piece of black cardstock. This was a full 8½ by 11 inch cardstock, but I cut it in half at 5½ inches. So I have a 5½ inch tall panel by 8½ inch long. And I'm going to score from each side at 2 1/8 inches. So just 2 1/8 inches from each side, and then I can fold each of those side flaps in and they will meet right in the middle. And this is the easiest way to create an A2 gatefold card. It's just 2 simple score lines and then fold those panels in and you'll have an easy peasy gatefold. I know that I want to put my panels onto the outside of my gatefold card. And instead of keeping this flower the way it's stamped, I actually mismatched these panels purposely, but the panel that was on the right side is actually on the left, and the left side flower is on the right, and you can't even tell. It just looks like there's flowers coming in from both sides instead of having that flower piece centered. I decided that I wanted to add some more texture and interest to the outside of my card. So I went ahead and just grabbed my black ink, and I'm just going to add some spatters. And you saw me really quick put a panel on the inside. That measures 4 by 5¼ inches as well. And I just stamped the same flower coming off the bottom edge for some interest on the inside of my card. Now for my sentiment, I decided to grab the thank you press plate. So I'm using my Better Press platform. Reminder that all press plates you need a specialized platform to use. So this is my Better Press. I'm going to grab that thank you sentiment. I have a piece of LDRS Creative watercolor paper taped onto the top piece of my platform. I'm going to ink up this sentiment with Raven hybrid ink, pop that top plate on, and then run this through my die cutting machine, and it's going to press this sentiment into my watercolor cardstock. You can't tell on camera, but there really is a whole bunch of texture here. I grabbed my scissors, and I'm just going to quickly fussy cut around this sentiment. Now I want to adhere it to my card, but I don't want to glue my card closed. So you need to pick a side, either the left or the right, and only add your adhesive behind that half of the sentiment. I chose the left, so you can see it's adhered to the left side of my panel, and that right is just kind of free floating there, so you don't have your card taped shut. So here it is, a simple gatefold card, and you can do all kinds of fun things on the front and even decorate the inside too. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you again soon. Bye!